That is a transitional phase between lifetimes. We don't understand that today because we don't talk enough about death. Anytime you mention the word death, people freeze up. That's something that we learn to do. But if we understand that death is a transitional phase between lifetimes, funerals will become celebrations of life for the person. We will stop going to a funeral to mourn and cry. If we was to really understand that sometimes our relative pass on, our relative right there in the funeral, looking at us, I show some of our relatives be looking at us and saying, why are they crying? I tell all you, when all you come to my funeral, laugh, celebrate life. Today, we mourn death, we cry, we give out a lot of sad energy. I even have some cultures in, different parts of the world that they don't practice mourning because they know that their relative didn't die. A lot of the Mesoamerican cultures also practice that. In the Mesoamerican cultures, they don't celebrate death with sadness and despair. They actually understand that we live on after death. Yamel, you're saying that death is a transitional phase between lifetimes. What does you mean? It's important to understand who we are as human beings. And this is why I always try to tell people and remind people that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. There's a big difference. We are spirits using our mind to experience and process emotions in our physical body. This is a very, very old science. Christ also taught this. A lot of the ancient scholars also taught this as well. This is a human equation. So a human being is spiritual plus mental plus emotional plus physical. So we are spirits using our mind to experience and process emotions in our physical body. This is how us as spiritual beings step down into our physical body to experience this physical world. And this is why Christ always stressed on the fact that we are spirits having a human experience. A lot of the ancient cultures also did as well, because Christ would have learned from many ancient cultures that came before him. Enoch, Ezekiel, all these biblical scholars, all of these very popular scholars throughout all the ancient cultures and throughout all the ancient spiritual traditions stressed on the fact that we are spirits having a human experience. Good. So the next time you go to a funeral and you're about to cry for your relative, try to remember this. Let it give you a sense of relief, knowing that your relative is not actually dead, but they have transitioned out of the body. This is the very reason why we say, here lies the body of John Smith. Not here lies John Smith now. Here lies the body of John Smith. We just say it without even being aware that we are actually acknowledging the fact that we are spirits living inside a physical body. So death is not real. You see this here? YOLO, you only live once. It's not real. It's not a real thing. We have been here many times before. We'll be here many times again. And the quicker we understand this, it will be much easier. We will have conversations about death in a much more healthy way. All right? And, this is something that I always stress to people. When me and my wife having conversations about death, we will talk about it in a real jovial way. Because I'll tell my wife, who you think will go first? And, before it was a kind of sad, heavy conversation, but now, we have a very light conversation about it because we know that we came here into this physical body as spirits and we have to leave this body sometime. These bodies don't last as long as they did. Like in the days of Enoch, when Enoch and these guys used to live to be 350-something years, 360-something years old. All the ancient scholars, they lived very long. They ate differently. The world was different. We didn't have all the poisons that we have today in foods. We didn't have the poisons in music. We didn't have the poisons in the very way we live. Disconnected from nature. We walk with shoes all the time. We walk on concrete. We don't even look at nature the same anymore. So because of that disconnection with nature, that is why we live today in a mental state of death. So death is only what we perceive about the transitional state of our spirit between lifetimes.